Welcome to this session on MobyMax Early Literacy Programs. Today we will go through several programs that will help you to implement MobyMax with your earliest learners in grades pre-K through second grade. That we will look at today are all programs that can be used with our earliest learners, primarily pre-K through second grade, with some applications to third grade. We will walk through several of the programs that you can implement in your classroom. So we will start by looking at individual programs from the student view, and there will also be a few places where I will show you some items from the teacher view. So let's go ahead and begin. So once your student has logged into Clever and logged into MobyMax, they will get a screen that looks like this. And across the top, your students will see 6 icons. The first one is the whale, and the whale is the daily challenge. And what that does is it gives incentives and rewards for students to add to their badges, minutes of game time, etc. The next one that you will see are the books, and there are 4 books, one tilted sideways. If you click on that, it will show you all of the programs that your students have access to or that you have assigned to your students in MobyMax. The next tab with the paper are the icons, or the icon rather, for the assignments that have been pushed out to students. I'm working with a demo student right now who has everything assigned, so I know that our youngest learners will not have division and multiplication, and so on. So your students' will look a little bit different. A balloon. The balloons indicate places for games, contests, badges, etc. Students can also track their time in the program and their progress. The next one is the speaking button, the speaking icon, and this is a place where, as the teacher, you can post announcements and messages for your students to view. And the little incognito icon, the glasses with the mustache, this allows a student to change the background color of the screen. So let's begin by looking at our very first program. And once we go back to the books, it'll take us to our programs. And we're going to go 3 rows down. And we're going to go over to the one that says phonics and spelling rules. It's a purple box with a capital and lowercase a. So your students will choose and click this icon. And when they click this icon, it's going to take them to the screen that says what program they're doing. It's also going to give them a learning intention or learning intentions for the day, so that students know exactly what they're working on. And we'll see that this one is working with TCH to make the ch sound. Within the lesson, there are 3 components. There's learning the sound, choosing between the sound, in this case CH and TCH, and spelling words with CH and TCH. Now, before we get started, across the top you will see a circle with 3 lines. This is a zoom feature that allows students to zoom into the program. You'll see session minutes, which shows the student how long they were in the session and how many of those minutes were they completely focused while working. And then you'll see the home button, which takes the student back home, and the power button, which will take them out of the program. So in all of the programs, the students will have a circle oval with an arrow. The student will always click this to go to the next component of the program. And the first thing that you will see in this program is learning the sound.
Made by the letters T, C, H. The letters, T, C, H make the ch sound. Let's practice some words that use the letters T, C, H to make the ch sound. Patch, itch, catch. The letters T, C, H make the ch sound.
So you'll notice that they're in the early literacy programs, all our programs have play feature, and it will come automatically as we know that our youngest learners are learning their letters, their sounds, they are learning reading by an auditory means. So it will also say the end when they have completed that part of the lesson. And then they will click the green arrow to simply move to the next section.
Makes the sound.
So the student will choose what letters make the ch sound. They can also listen again if needed.
Which group of letters makes the ch sound?
The student will choose an answer, and when the student is correct, they will see a check mark which says to the student, yay, you've got this correct. You can move on by pressing the arrow button.
The letters T, C, H make the ch sound.
So notice that it reiterates the teaching point and the assignment question that the students just completed.
Which sound do the letters T, C, H make? Click on the blue sound icons below to hear each sound. Then drag the correct sound up to the gray box.
So the student will click these sound buttons.
Oi.
And if they say, I quite didn't hear that, I want to hear them again.
Oi.
Now let's see what happens if a student chooses an incorrect answer. It doesn't stick. So the student knows it's not this one.
Oi.
Oh, it's the ch. I'll move this up. And notice that it's staying so that the student knows I have that answer correct. And they can choose the arrow.
Letters T, C, H make the ch sound. Which word has the ch sound in it? Ray, scratch, giggle.
So students will choose the word with the ch sound. And also notice down here at the bottom, we'll see 5 stars. So it's showing the students how far they are progressing through the unit. We often know that students might say things like, how much longer? Am I almost finished? This gives a visual representation to show the students when they are ready to how they've progressed, when they have completed a part of the lesson, and what they have remaining.
Scratch. The word scratch has the ch sound in it. The letters T, C, H make the ch sound. Which word ends with the letters C, H, B? Match.
So let's choose an incorrect answer. Oh, put an X so we know it's not that, so we know it has to be match. And we see the green check mark, which indicates the student has answered the question correctly.
Match ends with the letters T, C, H. The letters T, C, H make the ch sound. Fill in the missing letters to spell the word itch.
And notice that the level of sophistication of what we're doing with the sound increases. So we've moved it from the sound and we've added it to words. And notice here that we're looking at the spelling rule. So here's the spelling part of that. So TCH makes the ch sound.
Pitch is spelled P-I-T-C-H. The letters T-C-H make the ch sound.
And notice that it also color codes, so the sound that we're working on, it color codes those letters in a different color to help students see a stronger visual representation of the spelling rule. Now, one thing that I forgot to point out to you is this, and that's the More button. So notice that we have completed learning the sound that TCH makes, and I'm going to click on the More. And what normally would happen is it would bring up more of a picture or more of the lesson. Since this is the only page, there's nothing else to see. So notice that I had a 60% on learn the sound. So now it's going to take me to choosing the assignment for choosing between CH and TCH.
Which group of letters makes the ch sound? The letters T-C-H make the ch sound. Which sound do the letters T-C-H make? Click on the blue sound icons below to hear each sound. Ch, ow. The letters T-C-H make the ch sound.
And again, notice that it's moving it to the letters and the sounds, and we have the play button where students can listen to
which word
the sounds.
Has the ch sound in it. Ditch, saw, table. The word ditch has the ch sound in it. The letters T-C-H make the ch sound.
Also notice that it's showing the progress down at the bottom. I've completed 2 of the 5 questions for this section of the lesson.
Which word has the letters T-C-H in it? Kitchen, grocery. Kitchen has the letters T-C-H in it. The letters T-C-H make the ch sound. Fill in the missing letters to spell the word stitch.
So, let's see what happens if I put something incorrect. It simply doesn't leave it, so the students can then try and continue. Oh, it's TCH, and then it sticks.
Stitch is spelled S-T-I-T-C-H. The letters T-C-H make the ch sound.
So it shows me after completing that section I had an 80%, so the students know right away how they did. It shows me what I've earned. I've earned some extra game time, I've earned badge points, contest points, so it shows students and gives them that reinforcement to continue doing an excellent job. So now I'm choosing between
two ways to make the ch sound. CH and TCH. In this lesson, we're going to practice deciding whether the ch sound is spelled with TCH or CH in different words. We usually use TCH when the ch sound comes immediately after a short vowel. Here are some examples. Catch. Notice the ch sound comes immediately after the short vowel A. So we use TCH. Punch. Notice the ch sound comes after a consonant. So we just use CH. Let's try some examples. How do you spell the word match? Do we use CH or TCH? Let's take a look. Does the ch sound come immediately after a short vowel? Yes. Yes. The ch sound comes immediately after the short a sound. So to spell match, we use TCH. Match is spelled M-A-T-C-H. How do you spell the word ranch? Do we use CH or TCH? Let's take a look. Does the ch sound come immediately after a short vowel? No. Notice the sound right before the ch sound in ranch. Since the ch sound does not come immediately after a short vowel, we use CH. Ranch is spelled R-A-N-C-H. Now, you're going to practice deciding whether to use CH or TCH on your own.
So you will notice that there is a teaching component to the lesson. So students are going to learn phonics and spelling rules, and then they're going to practice it. So this is a great addition.
Letters to spell the word pitch.
So then students will practice the rule that they've learned.
Pitch is spelled P-I-T-C-H. If the ch sound comes immediately after a short vowel, we use T-C-H to make the ch sound.
And the lesson will continue for the students until they complete all of the components. And so this is the phonics and spelling rules program that you can use with your learners. Another program within the reading programs of MobyMax is a program called Alphabet Letters. So let's take a look at what Alphabet Letters looks like from a student perspective. Once your students have logged into MobyMax, they will see a screen that looks like this. So to get to programs, again, we're going to work through the books at the top of the icon with the books. And this time we're going to work with a program called Alphabet Letters. If your students have all the programs, it will be in the third row down, fourth over, and it says Alphabet Letters, and it has ABC blocks. So let's click on this and see what Alphabet Letters program looks like for your students. And again, you will see that it will tell you the name of the program. Let's go always means the program is ready. And again, you can zoom at the top of the screen and students can see how many minutes they've spent in the program. So when we look at Alphabet Letters, in this program, students will work on upper and lowercase letters. And we'll see the green arrow box with the white arrow to go to the next screen.
This is the letter A. This is an uppercase A. This is a lowercase a. Apple starts with A. This is the letter A.
So it shows the capitals and the lowercases, and when it says the end, that means that it is complete and ready to go on to the next part of the lesson. And students will click again on the arrow. And again, notice that this is an auditory component for students learning letters and sounds. And we have the speaker icon, so let's click that again.
A.
So we are finding the letter A. We'll see a letter with a picture. So let's click on the A.
A. Excellent. This is the letter B. This is an uppercase B. This is a
This is a
lowercase b.
lowercase b.
Butterfly
Butterfly
starts with
with B.
This is the
This
letter
is the letter
B.
B.
And again, we will see the end, and students will know when they see the words the end to move to the next line. And let's listen again.
B.
So we're going to find the picture with the B, and I'm going to click on the
Good work.
butterfly.
This is the
This
letter
is the letter
C.
C.
This is an
This is an
uppercase
uppercase
C.
C.
This is a
This is a
lowercase C.
lowercase C.
Cat
Cat
starts
starts
with
with
C.
C.
This is the
This
letter
is the letter
C.
C.
And let's click
C.
again. And let's see what happens if we click the incorrect choice. So let's say your student chooses
Listen to
apple.
the
Listen to the letter again.
So we're going to listen to the letter
C.
again.
C.
Oh, so I'm going to come over here.
Listen to
Listen
the
to
letter
the letter
again.
again.
Still incorrect.
Great
Great job.
A.
A.
So notice that it gives students the opportunity to self-correct.
Perfect.
Perfect.
C.
C.
Listen to the
Listen to
letter
the letter
again.
again.
C.
C.
Way to go.
Way to go.
B.
B.
You got
You
it.
got
A.
it. A.
So notice now that we are changing the
A.
nature of the assignment.
A.
A.
So now I'm going to move the
A.
speaker
A.
icon up
B.
to the A.
B.
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 C.
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 Correct.
Correct.
A.
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 B.
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 C.
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 Excellent.
Excellent.
Ready to
Ready
begin
to
your
begin
speed
your
drill?
speed drill?
Click
So
start.
once
Start.
So once students have practiced, they're going to do a speed drill. And a speed drill is going to determine the automaticity that students have with naming the letters. Now, in your teacher setting, you do have the ability to change how rapidly you would like students to be able to name their letters, and that is in the teacher setting. So let's take a look at alphabet letters speed drill.
B.
B.
Good work.
Good work.
A.
A.
Great job.
Great job.
C.
C.
Perfect.
Perfect.
So notice that it says, oh, you've earned some
This is
game
the
time.
The letter D.
Now,
This is
please
an
An
note,
uppercase D.
This is a
This is a
lowercase D.
lowercase D.
Dog
Dog
starts with
starts
D.
with D.
This is the
This
letter
is the letter
D.
D.
now, should we continue with this lesson, please notice that it's introducing 3 letters at a time. We saw A, B, C, and now we'll see the letters D, E, F with a speed drill immediately following. Again, you also have the option of going in and changing this from introducing 3 letters. You can change it to 5 letters, for example. And so you do have the ability to customize. But in alphabet letters, they are learning to identify letters. Another program available to students is a program called Alphabet Sounds. In Alphabet Sounds, students are working on the sounds for the letters of the alphabet. So once students are in MobyMax, again, they will have their icons across the top. We'll see the whale for daily challenge, the books for the programs, the assignment list, places for fun, for games and badges, announcements and messages you may have sent out to students, and changing the background color. So let's go to the books. So when we look at alphabet letters, if your students have been assigned all the programs, can be found in the 3rd row fifth one over rather, that says alphabet letters. It's kind of a magenta red pink color with an A and 3 sound bars. Let's click on this to see what happens. So again, it tells the students they are working on alphabet letters. Let's go means the program is ready. So let's see what students see for alphabet letters or sounds.
This is the letter B. The letter B makes the B sound. Listen for the B sound in each of these words. Boy, bat, bird, box. The letter B makes the B sound.
So it looks very similar to the program in alphabet letters where you're identifying letters. This time we're putting sounds to those letters. So we've got the speaker button to listen. So we're finding the B. Now notice that we're also seeing that students are also working to differentiate between long and short vowel sounds with letters through the long A symbol and the schwa looking symbol.
Excellent.
This
And
is the short A. The short A makes the sound.
So again, do they know the difference between short and long vowels and the symbols that are associated with those?
Good work.
This is the long A.
So let's choose an incorrect answer.
Listen to the letter again.
A.
Great job.
B.
Perfect.
A.
Way to go. You got it.
So again, it looks very similar to the alphabet letters.
B.
Correct.
B. B. A.
Excellent.
Ready to begin your speed drill?
So
Start.
just like in alphabet letters, alphabet sounds also has a speed drill.
A.
Good work.
B.
Great job. Perfect.
So you'll see that it looks very similar, and again you have the ability to go in.
This is the letter D. The letter D makes the D sound. Listen for the D sound in each of these words. Dog, dig, dark, deer. The letter D makes the D sound.
So again, you have the ability to customize the time on the speed drills, how quickly you want them to be have their automaticity with knowing their sounds as well. So that is a brief overview of the alphabet sounds program in MobyMax. Another program component of MobyMax for early literacy is sight words. Once your students have logged into MobyMax through Clever, they will get to a screen that looks just like this. The programs are located within the icon that is the 4 books with the one tilted on its side. And if we look at the sight word program and you have assigned all of the activities or modules to your students, we are going to go down to the first, second, third, fourth row. and the fourth program over called Sight Words. It is a magenta red box with the word the in the center. So within this, you'll notice that there are Fry sight words and Dolch sight words. We're going to take a look at the Dolch sight words. So it will tell them the program. It will say let's go, which indicates it is time to move on. Now, notice that this says grade level 3. You do have the ability to go into the programs and change the level at which you want your students to begin. We're going to keep it right here for right now. So let's click the arrow.
About.
So they will hear the audio and then they will choose the word.
Bring.
So when they get a correct answer,
Good work.
a green check mark appears. So let's listen to that one again.
Better.
Let's see what happens if a student chooses an incorrect answer.
Listen to the word again.
So notice that it puts a red X, and then they have 2 to choose from. And let's listen again.
Better.
I think this is better. I see a B in the middle.
Listen to the word again.
Great job.
There we go.
Better.
So now we are matching the sound, the written word to the
Better.
spoken word.
Better. About. About. Bring. Bring.
Perfect.
About.
Now, this component of this individual letters, words, is how
About.
all of the programs are set up so that it gets more difficult as they progress through.
About. Bring. Bring.
Let's see. Oh no, in this case, if it's not correct, notice that it brings it back down so the student
Bring.
knows it's not the correct
Better.
answer.
Better.
Way to go.
Ready to begin your speed drill?
So once students have done a series of words, they will go into speed drill and they will practice those words. And in the settings, you can change the amount of time that you want students to be able to spend before giving that word with automaticity. So let's take a look at what a speed drill looks like within the sight word program.
Bring.
You got it.
About.
Let's see. Oh, didn't
Better.
get that one.
Correct.
So notice in this case it didn't give me a retry, and it shows me how many seconds I've gained of game time.
Clean.
Excellent.
Cut.
Good work.
Carry.
Great job.
Carry. Carry. Cut. Cut. Clean. Clean.
Perfect.
Cut. Cut. Clean. Clean. Carry. Carry.
Way to go.
Ready to begin your speed drill?
So you'll notice that it is set to default for 3 words and then a speed drill. So you can go in and change that in your settings for your class or for your individual students. So the Dolch Sight Word program and the Fry Sight Word program within MobyMax work exactly the same way. And so that is a brief overview of the Sight Word program within MobyMax. And to access phonics blending, students will find the purple box with the BL in the center. I have all of the programs assigned to students, so if you do, you will see it in the 3rd tab, or in the 3rd row down, all the way to the far right. So your students will see phonics blending, BL, in the purple box, and the words phonics blending underneath that. So in order to get to this program, students will click right in the center. And please notice that there are 3 levels of phonics blending. We are going to walk through what your students will see in each and every section of phonics blending. If we look at level 1, level 1 is going to focus on CVC words. And when they click on level 1, it will take them to a screen like this. The Let's Go program means that students are ready to begin. You will see down at the bottom there is an elliptical shape that is green with an arrow in the middle. This allows students to move to the next page. So you'll notice that this is an auditory program, and we are going to be matching the sound with the picture.
G.
So notice now that it's combining the first two letters. Oops.
G.
So notice that when I accidentally put that in the wrong place, if a student were to do that, it will move it right down until they can place it in the correct location.
G.
Sag.
T. A. Ta. 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 Tap. A. A. D. D. Sa.
So notice that until I place it in the right location,
D.
it keeps moving it back down to the bottom for me to place.
A. Sa. Sat. A. Sa. Sap. Sag.
So notice now I'm working with those three words, but now I am looking for the word that has blended with the sounds.
Tap.
Notice that when I was correct, it gave me a green check mark. Let's miss one and see what happens from a student point of view.
Tap.
Gives me an X and says that's not correct. So let's try again.
Sad. Sad.
So notice that I can listen to this as
Sad.
many times as needed.
Sat. Sap.
Now, it's told me I've earned some game time, so that's exciting.
A.
So, in phonics blending level 1, notice that I'm working with CVC words. Let's see what this looks like from level 2.
A.
So, I'm going to take us back home. We're going to find phonics blending. And this time we're also going to look at this from the next level, from phonics blending 2.
A. A. St. Sta. D. D. Stand. Stand.
So notice that when I move to phonics blending 2, I have that same basic CVC pattern, but notice that I've extended the amount of consonants to the right and left of that CVC pattern.
St. A. A. Str. Stra.
So notice that I'm adding to my phonemes and I'm sounding out till I'm sounding out the entire word. So I'm blending
Strand.
those phonemes
D.
into a longer word.
Strand. O.
So this is what phonics blending level 2 looks like. So let's take a moment to look at phonics blending 3, which extends the work on level 1 and level 2. And please note that you can also adjust and change these levels within settings. And in our short video that we'll do at the end of this set of lessons, we will learn more about how to change our settings for these programs. So you can set it so that students are just working on certain levels of phonics blending. So let's look at level 3, which looks at extending the types of patterns that we see in words beyond CVC and CVC extensions. So notice that this is a multi-syllabic word.
Hammer.
Thumb. Summer.
So you will notice that we see different types of word patterns within phonics blending 3.
Offer.
So, if we were to continue working through phonics blending 3, we would continue to see similar types of patterns. We can tell this one's working on ER, and then the next lesson will work on other phonics blending skills and patterns. So that is the phonics blending component located within the MobyMax suite. So to access the programs, we'll go to the books again. And I am going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. And I'm going to see the words phonics spelling. It is a purple box with, it looks like a little B and some little sound bars. So you're going to click on that, or should I say your students will click on that. And this looks like, this will look very similar to phonics blending in that there are 3 levels that students can work through in this program. And so let's look at what the spelling phonics looks like at each level. So let's start at level 1. And level 1 will focus on CVC words. So you will see that it says let's go, so students are ready to click the arrow at the bottom of the screen to go to the next page.
Sad. Sad.
So in this program, students
into the box.
Students will be using the keyboard to type
Sad.
the spelling of words. So let's listen again.
Sad.
So students can use the play button as many times as needed, and they will type the word in the box. And when students think they've got it, and I think I do, I'm going to click the next arrow. I have a green
Sag.
check mark, so I'm correct.
Sag.
So let's say I've heard that,
Here into the box.
and I thought they said sad again. So let's see what happens if I
Sag.
choose an incorrect spelling.
Try typing the word again.
So notice that it highlights
Sag.
what the student misspells. So the student can go back and correct the incorrect spelling.
Ah. Ah. sa, sa,
So again, we see an element of the program that you have seen in the phonics
Sag.
blending.
sag, sap,
So students will continue through this way.
sat,
So again, the focus is on CVC words. So let's see what phonics spelling looks
Type
like
the word you hear into the box.
at level 2. So I can now click on level 2 and see what level 2 looks like. Again, this one will extend CVC patterns where it is including more consonants on either the beginning or end of a CVC word.
blonde, blonde,
Type the word you hear into the box.
So let's type this and see
blonde,
what happens.
Try typing the word again.
So notice that I did not spell it
Blonde.
correctly. It's going to show me the correct spelling and then I'm going to be able to type it.
Try typing the word again.
Oh, and look at that. I added an extra
Blonde.
E and didn't need it. So notice I can correct that word as many times as
Oh.
needed.
oh, 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 b, 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 ah, blah, 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 d,
So notice again, I'm spelling the word and I'm looking at the phonemes in the word.
d, 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 blonde, blonde,
So let's take a moment now to see what phonics spelling 3 looks like. The pattern will be the same. The difference will be the nature of the types of words that students are completing. So it says I'm in phonics spelling pattern 3, so let's take a look.
hammer,
Summer. Summer.
Type the word you hear into the box.
So let's make this
Try
word.
typing the word again.
So notice it shows me what I spelled incorrectly. And then I can go back and correct my misspellings.
Sa. Sa. Some. Summer.
So phonics spelling 3 works the same way as the other parts of
Type the
levels
word
1
you
and
hear
levels
into the
2
box.
that you have seen. You will see that as they increase in levels, the sophistication of the words patterns changes. And again, you can change these, the access that your students have to these different levels within the settings program. And we will do how to change your settings at the very end of this presentation. So that has been a brief overview of phonics spelling. Another program available to your students is called Foundational Reading. And students will access this program from their Clever login screen, from their home screen, And it is a blue square with a book in the middle and a balloon. On my screen, it is in the 4th row down, second icon over. It says Foundational Reading, and here's our book and our balloon. And this program works on many types of skills, and it is also available up through 5th grade. So this program varies a little in that nature, so you could also use this for students in the primary grades for enrichment. And let's click on this program and see the program from a student view. Now, the first thing that the student will do to use this program is a placement test. It will place them at a given level in the foundational reading program, and I will show you in the last section of this presentation how to change those settings. It is automated so that it starts all students at the kindergarten level. You can go in and adapt that, but we know for our earliest readers, we definitely want to start in this area. So as they log in, you will also see that they have the circle with the 3 lines for zoom. So students can zoom in if they need to see something bigger on the screen. So again, we see that green elliptical oval shape with the arrow. So students will click on that to move to the next program.
This is important. Remember,
And it says, this is important. Remember, you will want to focus and try your hardest so that you can start at the right level. So it tells students automatically that it's going to place them in a given level. It's going to test and teach things such as rhyme, sight words, vocabulary, etc. It will also start the program at the kindergarten
Match the
level,
correct sound icon
and
with
the
each
kindergarten level,
syllable.
and we'll work on concepts of print and build from there. So here's what the student sees. And again, they can listen to the instructions.
Match the correct sound icon with
And it
each
says, when we listen to the instructions, it always helps to have the volume on. So there we go. We've got our volume for our students. You might have to remind your students to turn their volume up as well.
Match the correct
Match
sound
the correct
icon
sound
with each
icon
syllable.
with each syllable.
So
Mo.
we'll come down here.
Mo.
Mo,
Mo, mo.
mint, mint,
Mint, mint.
ma,
Ma,
mint.
mint.
So students will choose which sounds they hear of the 4 options. And since this begins with a placement test,
below.
Walt was so
It
caught
does-
up
Was
in
so caught up
read
in
the sentences
read
below.
the sentences below.
Walt was so caught
Walt
up
was
in
so
watching
caught
his
up in
brother's
watching
tennis
his
match
brother's
that he
tennis
forgot
match
to
that he
eat.
forgot to eat.
By the time he
By the
returned
time
home
he
5
returned
hours
home
later,
5 hours
Walt
later,
was completely
Walt was completely ravenous.
What is the meaning
So-
What is the meaning
ravenous?
of ravenous?
students will answer this question. They'll choose the meaning, and again, they can listen to the
Very
options.
hungry,
Very sad.
very sad,
Very tired.
very tired,
Very bored.
very bored.
Now, since this is a placement test, it will work a little bit differently than it would on an assignment. As we have seen before on assignments, it will give them a green check mark or a red X if the question is correct or incorrect. Since this is a placement test, it will not do that. So let's choose very sad, which is not the correct answer. And notice that it doesn't tell the
Click on the
student.
word that you would
first
read
on this
first
page.
on this page.
So we see a beginning skill of concepts of print. So notice the student will choose where to begin reading. And let's say the student started down here and didn't see the print at the top. And they'll move on. And it's not going to
Drag
show
up
correct
the
or
letter.
Drag
incorrect.
up the
To spell
letters
the word.
to spell the word.
I,
I,
g,
g.
Replace one
Replace
of the letters,
one of the
to
letters
change this
to change
word
this
from
word
red
from red
to rid.
to rid.
I.
And I will move the letter and move it up. So notice that we are working on all of those literacy skills, from phonemic awareness, phonemic segmenting and blending, as well as vocabulary, and so on. And so students
Move the
will
correct
complete
word
this
to
test.
the line to complete the sentence. I am here.
I am here.
So then students would choose the correct question. And so once students have completed this test, this placement test, students will be placed at the program for foundational reading skills at his or her level. So if all of your students took this assessment, all of your students would be placed at varying levels. And we know that we could have students all the way from kindergarten through 5th grade, depending on the grade level that you teach and where the program places them. So this is a great place to have students work independently at his or her various grade levels. And so that is how to do the placement test and begin the skills in early reading literacy. Now that we have explored many of the programs available to you and your students in early reading in MobyMax, let's take a moment to see how you can customize some of these features for your students either individually or as an entire class. So on my teacher screen, you will see that on the left-hand side, we have something called Quick Access. We want to go down to the fifth tab that says Teacher Admin. It is right here, and we want to come down to Settings. So if we come down here under Settings, these are some general settings that we can set for our students overall. And you will see that the default score for passing is set to 70%. You can go in and you can adapt this, and let's say you want your students to have a passing score of 80 or 90, you can go in and change that passing score for your students for all programs and all students. Minutes of idle time before practice pauses. So you can change this from 2 minutes to whatever you would like to set it to. Turn automatic assigned lessons on or off in modules. So you can automatically assign lessons or you can go in and manually assign them. Allow students to build certificates when earned. Yes, we want them to earn those certificates. We can change the amount of times that we motivate students with games. Currently, the default is the number of minutes students must work on a lesson topic that are passed to earn 1 minute of game time. So notice that it says 5 minutes. Perhaps your students need that set for 4 minutes or 3 minutes. Especially at the beginning of the year, they might need more motivation to do that. So you could absolutely adapt that time as needed. And bonus seconds earned for each problem correct. 1 second for one problem. But you can also change that as well. So those are general settings. So if we come over here to modules, what we can do is come down here and you'll see math. We want to come down here to the bold tab that says Early Reading and Phonics. And we want to go to the Learning tab. And then all of those programs that we just learned about, you will see right under this tab. And you have the ability to change settings within each and every one of these programs. So let's go in and let's look at Phonics Blending 1. So let's choose that. And you can go in and you can change the settings for just that game. I can come over here to adult sight words and I can change the level. So I can change the sight words to kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, and so on. Under alphabet sounds, I can change the number of seconds required to correctly answer to be considered fluent. So it defaults to 5. If you want your students to be more fluent than 5 seconds, you can absolutely change that time right in that location. Another way that you can change settings from your screen is to go over to the next part of your screen next to the quick access. It's right here in the last 2/3 of your screen, and you'll see differentiated learning, quick checker, and interactive class. You want to be in differentiated learner. You'll notice that tab is chosen. And then I can come down here and I can choose a subject under early reading, and I can do some changes this way. So let's say that I want to go in and I want to change something within alphabet sounds. I can click this program and it is going to bring up a student's list or your entire class. Now, I can come right in here under settings by clicking the little gear icon. And you'll notice that now I am just changing the settings for that one student. So I can also come in and change this way. So I can go in and I can change, let's say I want students, I want this particular student to automatically have things assigned only for foundational reading and phonics rules. Notice I can turn these off and only have skills automatically assigned within certain programs. And if I want to use that program, I can hit save, I'm going to hit save and exit. I want to thank you for joining me for this session today on MobyMax Early Literacy Programming. There are many, many programs that you can use with your earliest learners, and I hope you have found some useful programming that you can use with your students in your classroom. Should you have any further questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Again, this is Robin Dixon, Pre-K through 5th grade ELA consulting teacher for reading and social studies. And once again, thank you so much for joining me on this session for MobyMax.